This lesson focuses on ratios. A ratio simply describes a relationship between two quantities, and we can write these ratios in three different ways. We can use words notation, odds notation, or fractional notation. And as I go through the examples in this lesson, I'm going to write these ratios all three ways, but in most problems you can choose the representation that you wish or that best fits the situation. Now when we write ratios, the first quantity or idea that we mention always comes first. So for example, if we are talking about the ratio of ears to noses on a dog, well, that ratio is 2 to 1. Dogs have 2 ears compared to 1 nose. So if we're writing in odds notation, you see where I have the 2 and then the colon and then the 1. This is called odds notation. If I want to write it as fractional notation, I would write 2 over 1. And if I want to describe it in words, I would write out the words 2, 2, 1. T-W-O, T-O, O-N-E. And I just wanted you to notice that when we talked about ears to noses, we mentioned the number of ears first in the ratio and then the number of noses. So let's take a look at some examples of questions you might be asked to think about. In this picture we have 4 different color crayons. And in question 1, I'm asking you to compare the number of blue crayons to yellow crayons. Well, in this picture, we have 3 blue crayons compared to 2 yellow crayons. So in odds notation, our answer would look like this. In fractional notation, we would mention the blue crayons and then the yellow, 3 over 2. Or we could write in words 3, 2, 2. The second example asks us to compare green crayons to all the crayons in the set. Well, I see 2 green crayons, and if I count all of the crayons that I have 8 of those. Now let's think about this as a fraction for a moment. We can simplify that because 2 and 8 have a common factor of 2. So that is really represented as 1 to 4. So again, think about fractions and how we simplify. In fraction notation, this would be 1 over 4. In words, it would be 1 to 4. In example 3, we're asked to compare red crayons to blue crayons. Well, I see 1 crayon that is red, and again, I have 3 blue crayons. So in odds notation, this is what the ratio looks like. In fractional notation, it would look like this. In words, it would look like this. And then our last example on this page asks us to compare yellow crayons to green crayons. I have 2 yellow crayons compared to 2 green crayons. And again, I can simplify that to a 1 to 1 ratio. So I would write 1 over 1, or I would write 1 to 1. All right, let's take a look at this picture of red and blue circles. I'm asked to compare the ratio of blue circles to red circles. So I'm going to count the blue circles first. And see, I have 3, 6, 9. I have 10 blue circles compared to red, which I have 5. Okay, so I can simplify that because 10 and 5 have common factor of 5. So that would be a 2 to 1 ratio. I could write that as 2 over 1, or I could write that as 2 to 1. In this example, the ratio of yellow, this is actually yellow stars, let's change that, to purple stars. Let's count the yellow ones first. Again, I have 10. So 10 yellow stars come first compared to 2 purple stars. I can rewrite that using the common factor of 2 as 5 to 1. I would write that as 5 over 1 as a fraction, or I could write it in words 5 to 1. All right, at this moment, please pause the video and try these 3 examples on your own. And when you have finished, restart the video and check to see how you did. All right, let's take a look at the answers that you came up with. In the first, or in example number 7, when we compare the number of boys who play football to basketball, we have a ratio of 8 to 6, which can be simplified to 4 to 3 using the common factor of 2. And then you see the 3 different ways we can write those ratios, or write that ratio. In number 8, we were asked about 6 kittens compared to 2 puppies. And we can rewrite that as a 3 to 1 ratio using a common factor of 2. So check your representations, make sure you agree with these. And then take a look at number 9 when we're asked to compare the daisies and the sunflowers. We have a ratio of 10 to 4, which can be simplified to 5 to 2. And then one more time you see the 3 different ways that that ratio can be written. Please make sure you took thorough notes from the first slide in the video and you wrote down all of the examples, and make sure you come to class with any questions or clarifications that you have. Thank you.